Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Emmy. So this is the second video of the series how I got a 7 in an IB subject, and today we're going to talk about IB chemistry. So I took chemistry at standard level at first, if you know, and then after the first semester of my IB journey I decided to take it at higher level. So I kind of experienced both standard level and higher level, and so I can talk from both perspectives. IB chemistry is perhaps one of the most difficult IB subjects according to IB students, and it is one of the subjects that has received the least number of 7s. So chemistry is somehow like math, okay? You got to have a sort of natural instinct in chemistry. But even if you don't have that, you can still do very good in chemistry. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some of my best advices and tips that hopefully can help you to achieve your highest grade in IB chemistry. So if you are interested, please continue to watch and don't forget to subscribe. So the first tip that I want to share with you guys is do as much practice as you can. So it is quite true, I believe, when people say that there are just some people who are naturally good at chemistry, just as they are naturally good at math. And there is nothing we can do about that because we don't know where that natural feeling comes from. But there is one thing that we can decide and we have control on, which also is super important to do good in chemistry, and that is practice. Okay, so practice is not like memorizing, and sometimes even if you practice, there is not 100%. It is not 100% sure that you can manage that topic matter, okay? So practice does require a lot of effort and time and energy and patience and skill, because you can't just keep practicing the same sort of question type. That does not help. So searching for a variety of question types, exam question styles is a skill, and that is super important to your practice. So if you have been watching some of my recent videos, even the one in which I explain how I take notes, you will find how much practice I do in chemistry. And I have just a lot of practice notebooks, like 4 to 5 throughout the 2 years of notebooks just for practice, not even counting for the spare papers that I use from day to day. So and I do believe that practice is the most important thing that has helped me to get a 7 in IB chemistry. So don't just stay there and look at a formula and grudging that it is very difficult, because that does not help at all. Instead, do something about it. Go and find some practice questions to get you to become more familiar with that formula, okay, or that topic matter, or that topic area, because practice is the thing you need to become familiar with the way IB asks their questions. And actually you will find a pattern throughout the past papers as you look through them. Now there are a lot of sources where you can go and get some practice questions. You can use the IB question bank, you can use ExamMate, and the last thing is past papers. but I personally would save the past papers for your mock exams, or where you have finished the entire syllabus to practice, because for topic tests, I would recommend your end of chapter questions at the end of the chapter in your textbook. And you can also go online and find some other textbooks, IB textbooks, and download them just for the practice questions that they contain. I do this all the time. I have like 5 to 6 textbooks beside the one that I use for school, just for practice. So I don't go in there looking for content. I just look for the topic, like per topic questions. Okay, so that's what you need at the beginning of the stage. And then as you get farther with your syllabus, you can start to practice past papers. But remember not to use the past papers all at once at very beginning, because that does not help. Instead, I would recommend to save more of them for the end. And the second thing that I want to talk about is never shy away from difficult cases. Now, there can be some very difficult IB chemistry questions, and I have encountered tons of them throughout my practice. But the thing is, you can never shy away from them, because if you don't force yourself to know how to solve that problem, you're never going to learn how to do this, right? Because I know that a lot of people, when they encounter a difficult case, they would just put it aside, thinking, oh, I'm going to do it later on, or this is such a difficult case, it's very unlikely that I'm going to encounter it again in an exam paper. Okay, so these two types of thoughts are very common, which would cause you never to be able to learn how to do or solve that particular type of problem. Now, it is very true that like a super difficult case is unlikely to come up again. But what if there is a case that is very similar to that case and is equally difficult, and you don't know how to do this, right? So in chemistry, we cannot guess, and we cannot base our thoughts on probability by thinking that that particular type of question is very unlikely to come up, and therefore I'm not going to prepare for it. What if it does come up, and what if it has a lot of points with it? So you can never risk if you want to achieve a really, really high grade. If you just want to pass, then just ignore those questions. But here we're talking about achieving your highest possible grade in IB chemistry, and therefore, in order to do that, you just can't shy away from difficult cases. Just get support, find someone to help you, get to your teacher and show him or her this type of question, and somehow you will get to solve it. Okay, and I actually find that solving some difficult questions would bring me to some knowledge-based content which I missed during a lesson, or at home. So that is very helpful to help you to have more complete understanding of the entire topic. The third thing is always look out for the points that a question has with it. So a very simple example, if a question is worth 3 points, you can't just get all of the 3 points in one sentence. Okay, the points, I generally use the number of points as an indicator to how much I have to write and how much detail I have to include. And I think this is a very smart strategy to get you all the points. So for example, in a 3-mark question, I usually write a short paragraph, and after I have written the short paragraph, I go to reread it, and whenever I feel like this sentence could get me a point, I will just count it. Okay, and when I got all of the 3 points, like according to my own mark scheme, I would go and do the next question. So I think the point of this tip is not to lose silly points. If you are not sure how much detail you have to give, just look for the points they're giving you for this question. For a 1-mark question, it is very unlikely that you have to write an entire paragraph to get that point. Okay, so it is like useless to spend a lot of time in a 1-mark question. Instead, you can use that time to do other things. So looking for how many points a question has with it is not only a good strategy to get you all the points, but it is also a strategy to divide up your time so that you have enough time for the rest of your paper. And the 4th thing is take really organized notes. So for more details of this, you may want to go back to my video on how to take notes in the IB, in which I have explained with a lot of details how I take notes for various subjects that I take. And because chemistry has a lot of content, so for HL you have like 21 topics. Therefore, you have to find a way to organize them. If you have like really messy notes with spare papers all around, it is very difficult for you to review the content and study and prepare for like an exam. Now, this is not as crucial as doing a lot of practice, but I think good grades are built up from the very small things we do. Okay, so taking notes is one of them, and make sure you take really, really good notes, because at the end you're just helping yourself. You're not helping other people. By taking good notes, you're just helping yourself when you study and review. The final thing I want to touch upon is your IA, and the tip is start early. Now, the chemistry IA is quite difficult as all of the other science IAs, because you have to somehow put yourself into the experiment or investigation you're doing. So that requires a lot of time to think, to be creative, and to do a good job. And a lot of times you may find the necessity to spend more time in a trial or in an experiment. So there is a lot of uncertainty going on with sciences, and that's why you have to start early to make sure you do not run out of time, and to make sure you do a really, really good job. Do as much research as you can on reading other sample IAs or on your topic matter, and do talk as much as possible with your teacher on how to proceed with a particular experiment. So start early, and that is really the only thing that you have to do with your IA, because if you do not start early, everything is not possible. So that's basically everything I want to say about IB chemistry. Well, it's not an easy subject in my experience as well, both at standard and higher level. But I personally do find that higher level chemistry is much more engaging than standard level, because you know everything more in depth. And when you do your IA, you have more options, which is very good. But I'm not saying that standard level is bad. It's just from my experience, I personally enjoy more higher level instead of standard level. So the purpose of this video is again to show you that you can always get a really good grade in any subject you want. It's just that there are some strategies and tricks that you might want to apply when you're studying and preparing for exams and tests. And always self-efficacy, believe in yourself. Don't be fooled by the kind of thought that I'm just not good at this and therefore I will not achieve a good grade, because that's just such a stupid idea. Okay, so I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.